First things first, the IBC tote. You can get this off of OfferUp, or you can get them from OfferUp. That's where I got mine. This is 250 gallons. They also go up to like 330 gallons. I think that's the biggest I've seen. The 330 gallons, you're looking at about $1 a gallon. These ones I've been able to find from anywhere from $100. Actually, I'll take that back, from $60 clear up to like $275. I got this one for $60 off OfferUp. Pretty much self-explanatory. You want to make sure that whoever was occupying this before is at least water soluble. You can wash it out, clean it, and make sure that it's absolutely safe for water usage, for storage, or in our case, we're going to be storing water in it, but also fish. Dude, these things make awesome, like cisterns. Probably going to end up using a lot more IBC totes around here. Well, not necessarily around here, but just in our grow. I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing down a little bit because I unfortunately have to put this back. Actually, not unfortunately. I have to squeeze it through a small little space to get it where I want it for the most part. So I'm going to cut it down to right about here, making this part right about like a little over 2 foot. And then also, yeah, it's also what it's going to do is open this up for me to now where this part is going to be able to be flipped over and utilized as a bed. We're going to show you guys all that right now. Yeah, so stay tuned. One other thing too I want to say before I kind of go on is you don't have to do this. All you need to do, especially if you're doing this for aquaponics or whatnot, is just cut the top part off. If you're going to be running a system similar to mine. If you're going to be running a system more for like your garden, home, personal use, then do what it is that I'm doing. And yeah, not all the parts. I'll show you the parts that you don't need, that you don't necessarily have to do, kind of like I'm doing now. But try to give you guys a couple of options along the way as to, you know, go about this, and maybe, you know, help you guys figure out what's the best way for you to go for your build. All right, y'all, let's get involved. Next thing for me to do now, this step you guys do not have to do. In fact, I probably won't even record it. This step is merely for me to be able to get it through a little area outside that we have to get it through in order to get into the greenhouse here. So we actually have to get it between these two little spaces. So we're cutting it down to make that happen. But to be honest with you, it's the perfect. This is exactly what I would have done. Well, I wasn't going to do this one for this particular build, but all my other builds is exactly how they looked anyway, so we're cool. But anyway, let me go ahead and pull this thing off, and then I will probably end up catching you guys in the greenhouse when we put this thing in. There's no need for you to see me place it. I'm pretty sure you guys got that all along. Talk to you in a sec. All right, y'all, so I was trying to get this thing, the cage mainly, through the little gap over there, and it didn't fit. I guess I had maybe measured where it was kind of warped. Maybe, I don't know. I thought it was right, but anyway, what we ended up doing is cutting off this bar down here, the lower bar. Seeing that I didn't show you guys how to cut these things originally, I'm gonna show you now, but more importantly, I wanna show you guys the sparks. Let's get it. The goal is to keep the cut right along the wall. Normally, you probably will never have to cut this off, but there's a really good chance you're gonna have to cut the top like I did here. So you can't even tell, and it's nice and smooth, right? It's nice and smooth. I can probably go over it a little bit to make it even smoother on some of them. But for the most part, they're really nice and smooth, especially the part that most people would touch. Anyway, I find when I'm going right along this bar right here, it really makes it easy. Again, you probably won't have to cut the bottom part, but more than likely, especially if you're doing a garden type of aquaponic system, you're gonna cut the top. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these down, and then I'm gonna show y'all. Oh, I guess what I was kind of getting at is for the top, or for the tote, basically leaving it inside of the cage, you just cut right along the same little bar, right along the edge, and it should get you fairly decent. I'm kind of wobbly in some pieces, just because I was kind of not really paying attention, but it's gonna do the trick. And it's just gonna insert really well. I'll go back over this. Like I said, we're gonna recut some of this anyway, so I'll go back over a lot of this and get some of these jagged edges off. But it'll line up real nice and flush, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Anyway, let's get back to these sparks. Low-key does suck that I gotta cut the bottom of this. I don't want it all intact. It just kind of feels like it looks better. Oh, it's out. Go out. There you go. We'll go ahead and call this the final resting place, if you will. I'm not exactly over thrilled about where we have to leave it, but it's here. So we'll go ahead and wash it out, spray out some of that dirt. Or actually, I might wait to that. I actually might wait to do that towards the end, because there's still some things I need to do that's gonna involve some debris. I'll circle back, y'all. Boom. This is gonna be the one thing that kind of sucks about it, is we were actually blocking off part of our walkway, making this just really like accessible one way. I don't really like that, but it's gonna be cool. These, y'all, are the Zip Grow towers. From Zip Grow. And this is what we're pretty much gonna be growing all of our crop in. The goal is to, I have 12 of them, to actually stack each one all the way across this whole entire bar. And then of course we're going to pump the water up here. It's going to go across, feed each one of our towers, right? We'll get into it right now. Feed each one of our towers clear down to about here. All right, so all the way across we'll have Zip Grow towers. I guess it's worth mentioning, I by no means am sponsored by Zip Grow. In fact, what's cool about this grow is that these were the original idea and the original concept for the Seeds of Xanadu. It was all aquaponics. I was using my Zip Grow towers in the backyard of my best friend's house. And anyhow, he had to move. They sold the house, so he was renting, so they had to move. So therefore, the Zip Grow towers couldn't play anymore. I did my best to find a couple other places to do it hydroponically, or aquaponically, should I say, and found a couple other places, but it just fell through. So at the end of the day, really, the Seeds of Xanadu was born in terms of microgreens. So it's really dope to now be able to get back from to square one where I started, and play around and see what we can do with them. So I'm really looking forward to playing with these, man. It's gonna be really cool. But again, I'm not sponsored by these people at all. Just kind of been using it for a while, or just have had the towers for some time, I should say. But anyway, that's kind of the idea. Oh, well, we're not done yet. So then, now what ends up happening is all the water comes down, and as you can see, this is like this right here is just like a grow medium, if you will. It's kind of like a filter. Goes all the way down. There's like another strip in there that keeps it nice and moist. To about here, where then we're going to actually have a trough. And that trough is going to gravity feed all the way down into a sump tank, which will then pump the water up there and the other water here. Keep in mind, both filtered, right? At least the areas in which it's going to be hitting will be both filtered by the plants as we have them growing all along the wall here. We will be adding other filtration systems to them. Kind of that's the idea for my major grow here. I don't know I don't think it's gonna happen on this build, but stay tuned. I'll show you guys, I might get into it a little bit here, but I'll definitely show you guys how to grow your own, more of the traditional way of setting up an aquaponics system here using IBC tote. We'll show you that here in a second. I'm just gonna go ahead and start getting this all plumbed up, and here we go. This is what I'm gonna be using. You're going to be needing some of these poly pipe, the same thing for your drip irrigation system. Also, I'm going to be using a 4-inch pipe, IBC tote, right there, pump. I'm using the Mondi 1585X Gold Series full shit, half Porsche. And it pumps 6,000 liters per hour. For now, that's kind of all I'm using. We'll also probably be using a little bit of lumber, as well as some cinder blocks. You may not need any of these things. This is what I'm doing right now. So let's get involved. I'm just gonna keep on working until I actually have to go to Home Depot, which I inevitably will have to go to Home Depot for this. All right, y'all, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just measure from this top portion all the way down. I know a lot of you guys probably like, damn, you should have known that before you bought the pump. I actually got my pump to go up about 9. So let's say it's actually probably closer to 7. Yeah, it's just a little over 7 foot. So we're cool. Boom. Alrighty guys, so I've kind of come out here. Got Whitney over there knocking out the trays. That's annoying. Anyway, I came out here, y'all, and I've just kind of outlined, kind of rough, as to how we're going to be cutting the holes for these things. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it and start cutting and put it back together. Alrighty guys, so seeing that the zip grow towers, or the towers with themselves, actually kind of overlap or go beyond the bend. The goal is actually have them fit inside here. So what I've done is kind of just make a straight, like a little slit across. I'm gonna now bend that slit up and try to use my heat gun in order to kind of melt the these little tabs, or now would-be tabs, up, so they actually will hold the towers in place. All right, y'all. So we pretty much got this thing all cradled in. Not these parts up here. This area up here, actually, ignore all that stuff. We'll get into that stuff later. But these parts right here, as you can see, I'm not overly concerned because it's going to be falling. If I needed to, it could fall directly into the sump here, which is what this is. So I'm not really concerned with them hanging, although I am pretty certain that it's going to go ahead and just release directly into the hole that we have there. Yeah, oh yeah, one thing that I didn't mention, you want to make sure, I don't even know if it comes in any other way, but you want to make sure that you get the PVC piping with the black liner. This will help keep down the amount of fungus, the amount of algae that can actually collect to start growing in there. You really don't want algae in your system. That's kind of like a weed to an aquaponic system or to a hydroponic system. So you want to keep that out of there. And the black will really help that. Here, down here, as you guys can see, they're still hanging, but they're a bit more cradled, right? And so that's gonna make it to where the water doesn't, of course, fall out. Pretty much done with this portion. I'm gonna start plumbing this thing up now, and hopefully have this thing running here before long. All right, y'all, so I've been in here just pretty much plumbing away. This is what I got so far. We're connected to the pump. We have one valve here, as well as a valve for our input of water into the fish tank, right? And now what I'm doing is working on turning the 3/4 PVC now over into the compression poly. So, and another thing is too, you know, you see why I have this valve after this line, and that's just to make sure that this line, the fish tank, will constantly get water, even if I have to turn off the this line, which ultimately will go into the towers. Also, you guys are going to see right now, I'm going to install the actually put you guys here and let you see me do it. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and just use the compression fitting, just a straight pipe, y'all, and I'm gonna curve it around as opposed to putting it on a 90. This way there's not gonna be that much friction, right? Because see, I was originally gonna use a 90, but then you're gonna have constant pressure hitting this surface, and then of course going out that direction, but nevertheless it's gonna be hitting there. So as opposed to causing any friction in the system, what I'm gonna do is just plug this directly here and then let it turn over. I'll give it a wide enough gap just so it can actually make the turn without collapsing on itself. You guys can kind of see right about there. There's no 90-degree angle or 90-degree coupler on there. What I've done is just kind of let it run all the way across. I actually just went ahead and put the 90 on there. It seems to be running pretty good. The reason I actually did go ahead and put it on is because I cut that line a little bit too short. And so the line was actually collapsing on itself, which was exactly I didn't want to have happen. It's all good though. So I just went ahead and put this 90 on there. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. So I'm not gonna sweat it. I would have preferred to have not had to put that coupler on there nevertheless, but it's on there now and I don't think it's gonna be a problem. So anyway, feel free to put one on or not. Again, this is simply to help reduce any friction in the system because the amount of pressure it's going to be under. I'm just doing my best to kind of safeguard against any would-be disasters. Add the figure 8 right here. You can actually do this with tape as well. There's other coupler type fittings for these things as well to actually stop your poly fittings, but I find these to be the best, especially under something like this. I'm going to go ahead and use this. Now I'm just going to go ahead and add some zip ties up here just to kind of keep this thing stationary for right now. Okay, now it's just time to add the holes for the emitters and get this part plugged in. What's dope is I actually found a gang of these, actually exactly what I needed to actually make that happen up there, already connected. This is from an old irrigation system. Yo, so it's the next day. I've already got all this stuff up. Everything's plumbed, ready to rock and roll. The only thing I have left now is to actually create a return from the fish tank back into the sump tank. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Yeah, so let's go for it. I'm gonna get my hole saw. This is a 2-inch hole saw. Ooh. Just made it. This thing's about to run out of batteries. Oh, anyway, 2-inch hole saw. That is so I can fit in my Unisil. Y'all, these, when it comes to water, you always want them around. Always want them around. These are awesome. Yeah, these are amazing. These come out of Australia. I might actually even start leaving links down below for you guys to order through here for stuff like this. But as of right now, you can get them on Amazon. Unisils, y'all. This is dope. Just follow the directions in terms of what it is that you need for sizing it up. All right, so that's in. So I want to make a little bit of a lip coming out of the Unisil here, which I think we have far enough now. Let's see. There we go. Boom. Yeah, it actually works. Cool. The idea is to have this portion just underneath the water, so as the water fills to that certain height, it now will just start to return back into your sump pump or back into your sump tank. However, I do feel like I might have made this just a smidge too high. If I could do like this, then we should be cool. Yo, y'all, so a lot of this build was just me kind of eyeballing stuff, to be 100 with you. I did end up turning this now into the little return and making it a little bit lower than this guy, just to get more water through. And as you can see, I still have it cocked over to the side. That's mainly because of this hole here. I don't have any stops right now for the 1 1/4 inch that I'm using. So probably like next week, I'll make it to the hardware store and actually keep this one. And I'll just block this side here. This, however, could eventually become just an outlet for our standpipe. I don't know. I normally like them right in the middle of the tank, but the hole's already there. I don't know. We might try to figure out something if I can. If not, just seal that up. Either way. Yeah, either way. Pretty much ready. Everything's been washed out for the most part. So let's, no, what this is doing. Actually, we're not done yet. We're almost done. I'm jumping the gun. Hold on. We still have to attach this hose. Hey, dude, get out of there. Yeah. And again, we'll fill up the sump. That way we can kind of prime the tank. Actually, we can kind of prime the pump as well as just get everything kind of going. So kind of kill a couple birds with one stone. Check it though. That's already happening. The main thing is to see if water's gonna start getting up here. All right, so we got it going through here, which is great, but it's not getting up here yet. We're only really getting water in the fish tank. All right, y'all. Somewhat a success. We definitely have to go up here, dial in a lot of these emitters and make sure that, you know, the flow rate is about right. But right now, it's doing pretty much what we wanted to do. One thing I do want to mention, when it comes to your pump, I don't have one on here right now, but I will very soon. It might be smart to go ahead and put like a painter's bag or something like that around your pump. This will make it to where if any solids do enter your water, before you get like a solid filter in your system, which is what I'm gonna actually put in. In the meantime, between time, I'm gonna go ahead and put a bag on that pump. And that's gonna make it to where my emitters up here don't get so easily clogged, right? Because they're so small. It doesn't take much to clog them up. So that's one thing that definitely worth mentioning. That's the return from the towers. We have yet to get it to the fish tank. Actually, I had to turn the fish tank off in order to get some flow going up there. So now I'm gonna slowly start dialing in the fish tank to see if we can't find a happy medium here. That might be it. I mean, as you can see, this stuff's flowing out really fast. So I could definitely open up this a little bit more. Somewhere around there actually might even work. Anyway, y'all, we give this thing a little bit longer, fill it on up, and yeah, have it kind of just working on its own. But you guys kind of get the idea. The water's gonna rise. It's supposed to level right on top of this and then start feeding back down into the sump. What's good, y'all? So it's the next morning, and as you can see, there's absolutely no water in any of the tanks. These little pieces, these are actually kind of new to me when it comes to IBC totes. This is the first time I've actually ever had to deal with this insert being able to come in and out. In fact, to this point, I didn't even know that these things could come out. All the IBC totes I've ever bought in the past, these were always just connected, never been a problem. However, this one came, this IBC tote came with this separate. As you can see, I put some PVC pipe on here, or the cement on here, but this is mainly for PVC. And this is not PVC. I think this is actually more like a plasticky thing. So, all right, y'all. We gotta run it independently. Everything's flowing. Couple things in the system that I do want to change, but for right now we got it going. This is going to be good enough for us to start dialing it in, get this water, getting it to turn into solution. I was going to show you guys how to make more of a backyard aquaponic system, but I'm going to do that the next video. This one was getting a little bit too long. So anyway, we're up. The math is mathing and shit. Yeah. Everything's working. So, oh, JB Weld for that. If you do come across any of those valves like that, they're actually 2 pieces. JB Weld is what I got to work. The other stuff didn't. So, yeah. Had to go with the OJB on that. Anyway, y'all. Hope this one helps. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.